Hi, I'm Carol from Designer Stencils, and today I'm going to show you how to take your plain bread and turn it into an artisan masterpiece. And it really is quite easy, except for the bread baking part. We're not covering that because I have to confess, I'm a terrible bread baker. Seems like every time I try and get my yeast and all that to work and to get the bread to rise, they're as hard as a brick. Nothing ever works right when I'm baking bread. So someone at work told me about this fantastic thing. Rhodes makes frozen loaves that all you have to do is put in your refrigerator or out on your counter and they rise. Let me put these away another time. And as you can tell, mine actually rose today. When I brought them out of the refrigerator, they'd been there all day yesterday, got home, and they still were tiny little loaves. I thought, oh, I can't even do it for store-bought bread. But I remembered a little trick someone told me is to get your bread to rise, put it in the oven with the light on. And I did that when I woke up this morning, popped this in there. Literally, they were this size. And within 2 hours, look at this fantastic thing. It's great. So let's get putting a pattern on here. So here I have my loaf of bread. I've let it rise a second time. See, room for improvement. I'm not that great, like I said, I'm a bread baker. But we're gonna take our stencil, and here is a little trick. You don't want the stencil to stick to what you're doing. So we're gonna take some Crisco. And I'm rubbing that on both sides of the stencil, just lightly. So on the one side, it's not going to stick, and the other side is actually going to help the flour that I'm going to use stay on top of the stencil and not fall through the openings. All right. Let's take the bread. And since this isn't long for the whole thing, I'm just going to put this piece right there in the center of my bread. And then I'm going to take some flour, and you want to put it through a sieve so that it's fine. And then we're just going to bounce that over top of it, dust it. Actually, you know what? I'll take the pattern a little bit further down there. Okay, and see, I'm going to gently lift it off, but look at how that flour just stays right on top of the stencil. It doesn't move because I put the Crisco on there. And look at that. Now I'm going to bake it, and the pattern is going to bake right into that. So we're going to put that off to the side, and now I'm going to get my rolls. Again, don't judge me on the shape of my rolls, but we're going to be taking smaller stencils. I used these earlier this season when I was dusting chocolate on a cheesecake, and I'm going to decorate my rolls with it. Now, I was watching, or I read a blog on King Arthur Flour's website, which, yeah, they're the kings of flour, so I figured they know what they're doing. Their master baker actually, for a dark pattern, uses ground chocolate. Yes, so I have that in my sifter, and I'm going to put my Crisco on top of my pattern here, or top of the stencil, and on the back side. And then I'm going to put it right here on this one, and then I'm going to sift my chocolate. Now I could mask the edges of this off if I wanted to keep the chocolate from going beyond the circle. And again, we're going to gently pull that off. And there's our leaf. And then with the other ones, I actually want to put herbs on there. And you can use like Italian seasoning, rosemary, whatever, but you've got to think about the thickness of your pattern, or the openings of your pattern and the thickness of your herbs. So this is my husband. Yeah, I stole it from him. His Krups coffee grinder. I don't think he's gonna make coffee out of this anymore unless I rinse it really well. And I've putting some of my Italian seasoning in here because I want to get it a little finer. I'm just gonna whir that up a little bit. There we go. And now, what I'm going to pour that off here into my measuring cup. There's plenty. And then, actually, I'm going to take my stencil again with Crisco. Put it right on there. And then, since my fingers are sticky, I'm going to grab a spoon here. I'm going to use a spoon to dust it on there. Let's see how this looks. Again, we're going to gently lift it off, and we have our leaf pattern. And I'm going to finish up doing these, and then we're going to bake them, and I'll show you what it looks like. But there we go. They're 2 leaf patterns. So I'll be back when it's time to eat. Okay, just fresh out of the oven. Look at this thing. Isn't it divine? Oh, it's making me so hungry. I'm so glad it's lunchtime. I'm gonna grab myself some butter and I'll slather that one up and make a sandwich. But look at these herb rolls. They look fantastic. I really do like how the flour and even the chocolate take the pattern, and it's because it's a finer powder, and that works really well to use something that has more of a fine texture to it than something that is larger. If you're going to use herbs, just make sure whatever pattern you're doing, maybe the wheat would have been a little better on the long loaf because it has bigger openings and it doesn't have the fine pattern of the stems of the leaves. Something simple like a heart or a diamond, star, those would work out great too if you're using the large granules. So I'm gonna get eating now. I'm sure my dogs are here panting away for some of this fresh bread to have with their lunch too. So just remember, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and let me know your comments. I'd love to hear from you, and subscribe to our channel so that you can see all the other things that we're gonna be doing in the next week. Take care. I have to confess, I'm not a bread baker. Oh, hey Tuds, I know you like to eat bread too, don't you? Well, in a little bit, okay? You can have some in a little bit. Hey, okay. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to put them in the other room.